I have a statement here from someone called Shannon Sharpe. I don't know who Shannon Sharpe is, and I don't know the allegations that have obviously been made that have led to this statement. So from this place of ignorance, can we look at the words that Shannon uses to find out the truth by looking at their words? Welcome to Never a Truer Word, where we look at the words that people choose to use to see if they're telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. What we do here is slightly different from anywhere else. In fact, it's totally different from anywhere else. We strip away everything apart from the words. And from the knowledge I have right now, that isn't very much to strip away. I am only going to look at the words in this statement and use my process of statement investigation to see if we can get the truth, see if we can spot deception, and also see the motivations behind this person. So we have this statement from the guy, Shannon Sharpe. I'm presuming it's a guy. I'll come on to that in a minute. Now, I'm fully aware this statement could have been written by lawyers and it could have been written by PR people. However, my rule is Shannon Sharpe has put their name to it at the very end of the statement, and also they have shared it on their social media. Therefore, the name is on it, they own it, they can be judged by the words that they have chosen to publish. So, shall we have a look at the statement and let's read through it first. And it says, "My statement is found here and this is the truth. The relationship in question was 100% consensual. At this juncture, I am electing to step aside temporarily from my ESPN duties. I will be devoting this time to my family and responding and dealing with these false and disruptive allegations set against me. I plan to return to ESPN at the start of the NFL preseason. I sincerely appreciate the overwhelming and ongoing support I have received from my family, fans, friends and colleagues," and then it's signed Shannon Sharpe. Now, first of all, I realised that I was thinking that Shannon Sharpe is male, and actually the name Shannon is mostly associated with females in my experience, but I'm going to assume Shannon is male for a couple of reasons. Number one is the job, so ESPN and NFL, which suggests to me the person working in this is male. It could be female, but the chances are it is male. ESPN and NFL, not big in my world here in the UK at all. And also the allegations that seem to have been made tend to be ones that are made by women towards men. So I'm going to assume that Shannon is male. If we get to the end of this and find out Shannon is female, this episode might not see the light of day. But anyway, let's break it down and let's look at the words that are used. So it starts off with, "My statement is found here and this is the truth. The relationship in question is 100% consensual." So first of all, this is almost like there's a bit of nervousness in coming out and saying, this is all false allegations have been put against me. This is almost, the first part here is almost like warming up, saying something for the sake of saying something, but that something's kind of comfortable, inarguable, somewhere where the person, Shannon, making this statement is really at ease, which is just, my statement is found here. Well, no kidding, this is the statement. Then they feel the need to point out, this is the truth. Now, that's not something that truthful people feel the need to do a lot. The truth is just the truth. They just say the truth as they know it. So for someone to point out this is the truth, that makes me wonder, is this a lie? Because truthful people don't feel the need to point out they're telling the truth. Liars, however, believe their lies become stronger by flagging up, hey, this is the truth. Is that what's happening here? Then we have, for me, the most curious line in the whole statement. The relationship in question was 100% consensual. Now, first thing I'll do is I'm going to point out the past tense in there. The relationship was 100% consensual. Now, that could mean a couple of things. It could mean the relationship is in the past. It doesn't exist anymore. But at the time, it was 100% consensual. Or it could also mean that at some point, the relationship was 100% consensual, but that changed and it was not 100% consensual. So it was at one point 100% consensual, but is now, or at another time, beyond the was not 100% consensual. Very interesting wording. And also, I don't know the allegations, and we'll find out the allegations, but I will bet those allegations are not that the relationship was not consensual, because by and large, relationships tend to be consensual by their very nature. To have a relationship, it's a two-way thing. A relationship generally is consensual. I would bet that the allegations are that certain things that happened inside the relationship were not consensual, and that things went on that were potentially Shannon forcing themselves on this person, assaulting this person, or something like that, making this person do things that they didn't want to do. I would bet that's what the allegations are. However, what Shannon is not saying is that everything that happened inside the relationship was 100% consensual. What they are saying is the relationship was 100% consensual. Very interesting. Also, they talk about the relationship in question. So the relationship in question was 100% consensual. That opens the door conceptually to the fact there could be relationships, not the one that he's talking about right now, but other ones that are not 100% consensual. I don't know, but it's a very curious wording. Not coming out the door swinging and going, the allegations made against me are false. Instead, it's the relationship in question was 100% consensual. There are some things I like about it. Talking about something being 100% consensual is, I mean, it's an extreme, but it's not going to 110%, 150%, which would be, oh, you're trying really hard to convince us of this. They're only trying a little bit to convince us of this. And also, they're not telling us what the relationship wasn't. They're telling us what the relationship was. So it's not a statement in the negative. It's telling us this was 100% consensual. But by and large, considering all the things that could be at the start of that statement, then that is, just very curiously worded. The next thing that's said is, at this juncture, I am electing to step aside temporarily from my ESPN duties. Now, they've come out and they have kind of denied the allegations, but not really denied the allegations, and then they deal with work. So these allegations, if they are what I think they are, must have had an effect on them personally as a person. So if someone accused you of doing some horrible unconsensual things, that should have an effect on you as a person, should have an effect on your family as well. And yet the first thing they mention is their work, these ESPN duties. So this to me is the priority to this person, is that their work has been affected. You'll notice that Shannon is saying, I am electing to step aside temporarily from my ESPN duties. So they're making it very clear it was their choice. Maybe it wasn't their choice, but they want to look like they are in control of this. They are the instigator of the things that happen. This is not them being out of control. I would suggest potentially a slightly controlling personality is the type of person who would like to say that, which is interesting when we look at what the allegations could be. Someone maybe overstepping boundaries and being too much in control. Well, showing controlling tendencies there is not good. And they mentioned that it's temporarily. We'll come back to that in a minute. So after mentioning the work stuff with ESPN, they then go and talk about their family. So they say, I will be devoting this time to my family and responding and dealing with these false and disruptive allegations set against me. So let's deal with that part of it. So we do have kind of a denial there, these false and disruptive allegations set against me. Again, it's not very blanket. It's not saying all these allegations are false. I'm going to be dealing with the false ones, maybe not just the entire allegations that are set against them. It's kind of qualified there. We'll be devoting time to my family. Great. Don't really say what sort of time you're going to be devoting to your family. It's very much like one of those things where someone gets fired from a job and they say, actually, it's great because I get to spend more time with my family. You very rarely get someone saying, this is brilliant, I get to spend more time with my family. It's like a resume statement, if you like, of bad things have happened. I've had to step aside from my duties at ESPN, but look, I'm a really good guy because I'm going to spend time with my family. Think well of me. Now, I want to know why the allegations will take time to be responded to and dealt with, because if these are false allegations, they could be dealt with here inside this statement, and yet they're not. So if you accuse me of mistreating my dog, I could come out right away and say, no, I treat my dog very well. I do not mistreat my dog. My dog has not been mistreated. That's the end of those allegations. I've dealt with it right now. I have not mistreated my dog. I've treated my dog very well. I don't know why it's going to take time for Shannon to deal with these allegations. What is it about these allegations that will take time to respond to them and deal with them? I've just dealt with some allegations that I've made up, frankly, but I've dealt with them very quickly in a statement. But Shannon can't do that. Is this like a delaying tactic? Like, let's just step aside a bit. Let's just go quiet a bit and see, actually, do I need to respond to these, or do things die down and I don't need to talk about them? And also, I'm interested in the phrase that's used of false and disruptive allegations set against me. Now, false, that's fine. You're denying something here. So you are perfectly expected to say that these allegations are false. Note it's not all the allegations that are false. It's just the ones that are going to be dealt with. But talks about them being disruptive. Now, I get these allegations could be disruptive because, well, we've seen the disruption to the work because he's stepping aside from ESPN. And also, it must be disruptive to family. I don't know what sort of family he's got or what sort of family he's referring to here, but obviously if someone has made allegations that he's been involved in things that have been non-consensual, then there would be some disruption to the family there. He doesn't say what disruption there is, but if you look, the only disruption he talks about in all of this is his work. He doesn't talk about the effect on his family at all, so he's really, really honed in on the disruption that this has had on his work, much less so on his family. Work, I think, is the priority to this guy and not the family. We then have, I plan to return to ESPN at the start of the NFL preseason. I would take a bet right now that he's not going to be on ESPN at the start of the NFL preseason because it's just that I plan to return. So it's just him on his own. So ESPN's part in all of this has not been brought into this at all. It's just his plan. And he talks about planning, so that's not definite. That's something that he would like to do. It's in his plans for the future, but it is not a very concrete saying like, I will return to ESPN at the start of the NFL preseason. There's a lack of confidence there in that whole paragraph that there's going to take time to respond and deal with these false allegations, and a lack of confidence that he will be back with ESPN at the start of the NFL preseason. He then says, I sincerely appreciate the overwhelming and ongoing support I have received from my family, fans, friends, and colleagues. So what we have here, this is a bit of a resume statement. So this is, it's not me on my own doing this. It's, I'm not on my own. I have the backing of lots of people. And if lots of people are backing me and you're not, are you a bit of an outlier? Are you a bit stupid? Or should you be with all these other people? It's social proof. It's used in advertising a lot when people share their 5-star ratings and all that sort of stuff. It's like, look, other people think this is brilliant, so if you don't come on board with this, you're missing out on what other people are missing out on, and that is what this is. It's a bit of social proof. So look how much support I have. And we just have some persuasive language in here. So he doesn't just appreciate the support, he sincerely appreciates the report, and it's not a support, and it's overwhelming. It's not just support, it's overwhelming support. So he's trying to convince us of how much support is there. And also he then lists who he gets the support from, and when we list something we tend to put our priority first and onwards. So his family comes first. That's great. That's kind of as expected, and it's good to know he has the support of his family. Then his fans, friends, so fans come before friends, and fans he's getting through his work, I guess, and colleagues. So 2 mentions of work in there again, so super focused on his role at ESPN and the fans that he's got and the colleagues that he's got there as well. So he's trying to persuade us here that he has all this support. He feels a need to show us he has all this support. So this is a statement from a place of a real lack of confidence. He can't just come out the gate and say these allegations are false, I deny them entirely. Nothing happened, nothing unconsensual happened at all. He's coming at it from a real place of a lack of confidence. He seems to be confident in that intro that comes up there, which is like my statement is found here and it's the truth, and this is a really easy things for me to say, easy words to get out, because the next bit is going to be harder. Not dealing with the allegations head on, but saying the relationship was 100% consensual. Do not think that he feels he's going to return to ESPN to his plan. These allegations are going to take time to deal with, rather than just being batted away and going, didn't happen, did not happen at all. And then he feels the need to tell us how much support he has as well, which is again saying, I feel like I've got a lack of confidence, I feel like I've got a lack of support. So therefore, look how much support I've got. I'm persuading you, I'm showing you that I'm not alone here, that people also feel the same way about me. So this really is a statement that I don't get. There's a lot of confidence behind it. Okay, let's have a look now and get myself on Google. So his name is Shannon Sharpe. Okay, so it is a guy, and let's just go to that. NFL champion Shannon Sharpe sued for sexual assault. Now, that would explain why it's going to take time to deal with it, because he would have to fight a court case. Shannon Sharpe, a Super Bowl champion and host of popular podcasts, has been accused of sexual assault in a Nevada lawsuit. The lawsuit was brought by a woman who alleges Mr. Sharpe used his fame to manipulate, control, subjugate, and violate women, plural. So he only dealt with the relationship in question, but there seems to be something about the fact there's maybe allegations about more than one person. The accuser, who was 19 at the time, says she met Mr. Sharpe in 2023, says in a legal filing that the pair had a nearly 2-year relationship, so I'm guessing this is the relationship in question, during which time Mr. Sharpe was aggressive and allegedly assaulted her, as you can see there. Mr. Sharpe has denied allegations and said he is the target of a shakedown, which did not appear in his statement at all there. So the statement is, comes from a place of real, I don't know, there's a lack of confidence in what is there. I can see now why it's going to take time to deal with, because there's a lawsuit here. It's not just someone claiming things that he has to deal with in the press. He's got to deal with this in a legal manner. But that statement suggests a real lack of confidence that this is going to go away at any time soon. What do you think? Do let me know in the comments if you can. And if you want to learn more about how to look into what someone is saying through their words, then neveratruerword.com is the website. There you'll find a whole load more. You'll find an entire playlist on allegations and denials and statements and so on, like the one Shannon Sharpe made. Neveratruerword.com. And we'll see you soon for something new from Never a Truer Word.